The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
And as for the haters, you are severely outnumbered. My God, Michael, what is that?
Well, Jimmy, we're going to cover a little news, man, as I get down our script here a little bit. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you ready? The
Not
average
that.
American woman weighs this much, according to a recent article reviewed by Dr. Craig Pruckmack. The average weight for women in the U.S. is 170.8 pounds, and the average height is 5'3". Now, folks, remember these numbers are mathematical averages, not personal standards. Everybody's body is unique. And, this is being PC in an article, Jimmy. God forbid you say your statement. You got to protect yourself because someone may sue you over this. There's no one size fits all when it comes to health. A Hims and Hers survey found that 83% of Americans aren't happy with their current weight, and most are looking to lose an average of 42 pounds. So if you're on a journey, you're not alone. Jimmy, thoughts?
Well, I'm laughing at this. Everybody's body is unique, and there is no one size fits all when it comes to health. Now, hold on a minute. Didn't we have it rammed down our throats when we were growing up to not eat certain foods and to be as thin and as in shape as possible, and to be fat was a death sentence and all this other stuff? Did something change where being largely overweight is good for you? What does this mean, one size fits all when it comes to health? What is this crap-ass inclusive comment? Okay, if you're severely overweight and you're going to the doctor and the doctor's telling you that, your body condition has to change. Mike, we've seen some very large folks in this business get cut short. All right, so one size does not fit all. These are dangerous bullshit mod messages. One size does not fit all, and yes, everybody is unique, but don't give me that crap that one size fits all. It's not good to be severely overweight, just as it's not good to be severely
Well,
underweight.
Jimmy, to be
One size
fair,
does
right?
not fit
Growing
all.
up as kids, there used to be a show which was what was it? Conjunction Junction. What was that show?
What's your function? It wasn't a show. It was a short that would occur.
Yeah, what was the name of that, though? What was the name of that? Do you remember?
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
Part of Schoolhouse
Gotta be
Rock,
old.
I think it was Schoolhouse Rock, Jimmy,
Yeah.
is they had diet, like kids, what you should eat.
Right.
And literally growing up on that cartoon, if you could find it anywhere, YouTube, whatever, right? Me and Jimmy of a certain age, they pretty much told you to eat pizza. You had to have the food groups. Bread, cheese,
right? The
right?
Food, yep.
Yeah, and
Yep,
guess what?
Yep,
by today's standards, if you went by that food group, you're fucking dead at fucking 50, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And our parents were telling us to eat this way because they ate this way. So all of a sudden, one size fits all. Fine.
So let me
Go out
ask
and
you,
eat
a
double layer chocolate
170
cake. Go for
pound
it.
woman,
Yeah.
that's heavy though, right?
That's it's saying the average woman is 5'3", 170. So basically, you're telling me the average woman looks like a boxcar.
Yeah.
Which you know what though, I got to be honest, man. Sure, there's plenty of in shape ladies out there, but from what I've seen, because I'm near the beach, you can see that those 200 plus pounders are definitely bringing that average up to 170 points.
I got to ask you this now that you brought that up.
These are just observations, by the way.
Yeah, but here's an observation for you. In
Yeah.
Florida, right? It's beach weather. It's beautiful, 100 degrees, blah, blah. Everybody's on the beach.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of like really heavy set women wearing bikini bathing suits over there right now?
I don't get enough time down on the beach to be completely sure, but I've seen some Yokozunas. Why?
What, do you feel like you want to say something like, yo, put on a
No, I don't want
one
to say
piece?
something. I want to excuse myself, go to the bathroom, and get rid of the lunch I just tried to digest.
I mean, not that we should bear wearing no shirts. We should wear shirts on the beach too, but...
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, nothing worse than an old, hairy scorpion.
You're right, dude.
Yeah, no.
Hey, listen,
no,
Father Time has no, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I always say, I used to be a lights on guy. I am a lights off guy now.
I've always been a lights off guy, but I'm from the dark side. So, yeah.
Some sad news from the podcasting world.
What?
Just recently, yes, some sad news from the podcasting world.
What's that?
Just recently, I know you don't like to talk about him, but Lee Cole announced on his channel that
What?
he has to go in. There seems to be issues with his anus that he has to have.
Man.
No, this is serious. I'm not kidding. He
Oh.
announced this on his channel.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And, he has to go into the doctor. He's got some anal problems. So we want to wish him the best of luck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not
We're hoping they get that gerbil out of there. And, the quicker they get that out, you could.
There's a gerbil? Is that a gerbil? That looks like a squirrel.
That's a gerbil, dude.
Well, I got shades on it. It could very well be a rat.
Well, anyway, when they get that out, he'll be able to get his 100,000 viewers and subscribers, and AI's done a good job and get your silver plate.
How do you get a gerbil jammed in your I don't want to know.
Well, anyway, can you wish Lee the best of luck that they get that out as soon as possible? He did announce that on his show that he has some kind of anal problems, dude. I'm just trying to tell you.
Wrecked him, fucking killed him.
I knew that was coming.
Of course.
So this morning I wake up to a message from two-time Hall of Famer, Sean Waltman.
Yeah.
While he's a fan of the show, he expressed his disappointment, and this is what he wrote. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just read what he wrote. Okay. Got a message from Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac, regarding our Bob Backlund interview. He said, while he's a fan of our show, he expressed disappointment and he felt we may have exploited the legacy of the great champion, Bob Backlund. I did respond back to Mr. Waltman. He did not respond. Thoughts on Mr. Waltman's comments of our Bob Backlund interview and your notoriety for exploiting wrestlers, Jimmy?
My notoriety for exploiting wrestlers? I didn't know I had any notoriety for exploiting wrestlers. If that's how you look at our approach, well, I can't help that. That's your opinion. As far as the interview with Backlund, I remember, if I'm wrong about anything, Mike, step in. I remember that we had agreed contractually to have him for 2.5 hours. We were very excited. Bob Backlund is from our earliest days, and he's the man. When he came in, it was a great interview, and he answered the questions great. But we did notice towards the end of the interview that he was getting tired, and we were only about an hour and a half in, but we both knew. It's funny how, when you work with somebody long enough, Mike and I both knew that we needed to wrap it up without saying anything to each other. We knew it. And we closed the show out. It's one of our best interviews. It's one of our more popular interviews, and it's my personal favorite interview. Bob was great with us, and he was very happy to be there. And not only did he answer all the questions very well, I felt, but he also managed to, and he wanted to do this, where he came over to the stage, and it's one of my favorite moments, and the man at 70 years old stood on his head. It was incredible to watch that. I never could stand on my head when I was in my 20s, and this man's doing this at 70. Incredible. He joked with us. He even worked, quote unquote, with us on a couple of those jokes and stuff like that in advance. Like, are you saying that I'm, what was the great line with you, Mike, where I was like, yeah, Bob, I don't think you're in shape to do the stamina test anymore. That was hilarious. That's when he went over and stood on his head for us. He was a wonderful guest, and I do believe we caught the last great glimpses of the great Bob Backlund with that interview. It's a home run, and I'm sorry Mr. Waltman felt that way. Maybe he has some personal memories of Bob and is very, very fond of him. I'm not sure. But we never, ever look to exploit, especially when it comes to Bob Backlund. Do we ask hard questions, and do we ask for the truth from our guests? Yes, we do. But come on, if things are out there, they deserve to be addressed, and we address them. It's not an easy thing to do, but at least we do it. Who else is doing it? Not too many. Go ahead, Mike.
No, Jimmy, you said it all, and you said it correctly and intelligently, right? We had Bob Backlund on. You and I, growing up, hated Bob Backlund, right?
Of course.
For many reasons, right? As fans. But as we got older, we realized what Bob Backlund meant to the wrestling world. Absolutely. And when we had the opportunity to interview Bob Backlund for 2.5 hours. Now, remember at this point, Bob Backlund, people did not know he was having issues with his mind or his memory. We didn't know.
Right.
Bob Backlund, when we first sat down with him,
He took
was
the booking.
sharp as a tack.
He took the booking and he came here. He drove
Yeah.
here from where was it? Connecticut, where he was at the
Yeah.
time, or wherever
He
he
was
was.
sharp as a
He
tack.
took the booking, yeah,
But
and he was great.
As Jimmy explained, as the interview went on, we started to see a change. He wasn't physically getting tired, but you could see mentally he was getting tired. And there's a short that was cut
Yeah.
from the Monte The Pharaoh channel where I believe Jimmy asked him for the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Right.
And clearly Bob just flat out misunderstood the question. I don't think it had anything to do with Alzheimer's, okay? I think it had to do with he misunderstood the question.
Right.
The point that we realized Bob was getting tired is Bob started getting confused between wrestlers. And that's when we realized, look, I remember the conversation with me and Jimmy at the table. I looked at Jimmy and Jimmy goes, he's getting tired. I said, we got to cut this. Jimmy didn't go, oh, no, we got to get the tune out. It's Bob Backlund. We got to get Jimmy's like, no, we got to cut the interview.
Of course.
Now, again, do we have hard questions? Absolutely. Do I understand where Sean Waltman is coming from, Jimmy? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, we got to meet Sean very early on. I'm sure he doesn't remember. He's met a million people.
Right.
But very, very early on, we saw him at the same event where Drew McIntyre was lost in Never Never Land shortly before returning to the WWE and doing what he's doing today. But Sean was very nice with us. I remember that. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. And appreciate his opinion. Look, and if you really look at our track record, when we do ask a question, and it's always, you're free to answer it any way you want. If somebody really doesn't like the question, we don't press.
No.
We move on to the next
question. There's people out there, we'll get into the whole Benoit thing, but there's people out there with the Curtis Axel question, which everybody was up in arms. So, not everybody, some people. How dare you ask that question? Wait a minute.
Not at
Your
all.
father,
we've asked it to many others.
But the thing, but Jimmy, his father, according to what you read, passed away from a cocaine overdose.
Yeah.
If that's your father, why wouldn't you be mad? It wasn't like he got hit by a car. It wasn't like he had a heart attack naturally.
All you're asking is under those circumstances, as to what the public has been informed, did you have that emotion when it happened? It's a simple question, and if you don't want to answer it, we move on to the next one. Exactly. And many have been asked that question, and 99.9%, Joe was the only one that I've ever had that kind of response, and we dealt with it. And after the show, when we were all talking, he had a good time and would love to come on again.
That's the end. That is all.
So all those triggered folks that really have nothing better to do with their time than obsess over this channel. Wow. First of all, I'm flattered. Second of all, I'm bewildered. You're weird. Move on. Next.